Carol?
We just want you to be happy.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly. What would you like to know?
How do I reverse all this?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Watch List. My name is Mark Ellis, and this is the show where we get to talk to the cast and creators of some of TV and streaming's biggest shows. We got new show energy, everybody.
Woo!
We got Vince Gilligan, Rhea Seehorn, and Karolina Wydra. I'm so excited to talk to all you about Pluribus, and I want to let the viewers know that there might be some minor spoilers just about the first two episodes, which are already out. So y'all can check those out on Apple TV right now. With that being said, Vince, I was so excited for this interview because I get to remind the world that, yes, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, they're fantastic. You worked on X-Files.
I worked on X-Files, and it was such a great job. I had 7 years of it. I wish it had gone even longer. And yesterday, we're doing this on October 14th, 2025. Yesterday, October 13th, Chris Carter's birthday. 30 years ago to the day yesterday was the first day I arrived as a staff writer on the X-Files.
Wow.
And I was so glad I thought of that yesterday. It was a great job.
Well, happy anniversary, buddy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's incredible, man. I mean, as a kid growing up on that show and seeing the truth is out there, just it opens your worldview, your universal view. Yeah. So what made you want to jump back into the world of sci-fi? Was it this show? Was it this concept? Was it just a desire to tell those kind of stories again?
It was the character. The character led to the concept. Well, I had an idea. It was a concept, I guess, first technically, which led to a character. The character originally was a male protagonist, but then I was getting to know Rhea Seehorn. All of us were making Better Call Saul, and she was just so wonderful on that show that I said I need to stretch a little and create a show about a female protagonist, and who better than Rhea? And so yeah, I wasn't looking to get back into sci-fi exactly. I kind of go where the ideas take me.
Do you remember a moment on Better Call Saul when you're just looking at Rhea, you're directing Rhea, and you're like, oh my God, it just hit me. That's my next protagonist.
I think I knew it kind of. I got to direct Rhea in her very first scene on in the pilot episode of Better Call Saul, and I think I kind of was sensing it from day one. You didn't really have any dialogue. We had a little bit of dialogue.
She didn't even have any dialogue, and you're like, no, you can carry my next show.
Well, you know what? It really is true, because the really great ones can put it across with their non-verbally, with their face, with their acting. They're using every part of their body to act, and it sounds like BS until you see it for real on a set, and you see someone putting it across without talking. Or some of our best moments on that show, Peter Gould would agree, were when we were in the editing room and we decided we could cut out dialogue because we didn't need it. You think as writers, because we start as writers, and we are writers, that comes first on the resume. But it's, for me anyway, maybe not all writers, and for Peter, being able to cut dialogue because it is not necessary, because an actor makes it unnecessary, that's the greatest feeling ever, I think.
Ray, did you know your morning was going to be this nice? I mean, listen to these compliments you're being showered with.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still pinching myself the fact that he did write something for me and that's what I just made. I've been stumbling and I'm being asked, like, what did it feel like when he said I wrote something for you? It's pretty tough to like put that into words without getting real sappy, but getting to do what I love for a living is a joy that not everybody gets. Probably very few people do, and then getting to do the kind of work that Vince does and create the kind of characters he does, and then to have not only whom I think is probably the greatest television writer of our time, but additionally such an incredible human who's become such a dear friend of mine, who is also this wonderful collaborator that you will be a better actor every day having been on his sets. Like, it's just it's gift past gift. I don't have the right words. I got to get a thesaurus at some point.
Very sweet.
But yeah, it's incredible. And I would also say particularly the gift they give you, he and Peter Gould, as well as our other directors on Saul, of letting me play these moments, and the fact that you assume the intelligence of your audience. And I do think the fans feel very rewarded by not having to be told what Kim was thinking all the time, or the other characters, or Carol now. Not a song that tells you, like, this is a sad moment, or or having to always, most people do not walk around stating exactly how they're feeling articulately while they're feeling the thing. And so he assumes the intelligence of the audience, and AMC was a beautiful partner in keeping those pauses instead of demanding they be cut. And same as Sony, and now we have Apple TV just being such a tremendous partner in the storytelling as well. And it takes all of those people to leave that kind of storytelling intact.
And when you talk about intelligence, it leads me to Zosha, to Karolina, your character, because you think about what your character is and who they become. How was that character first pitched to you? Like when you heard about this show, Pluribus, what did you understand about the concept and about your character?
When I first got the audition sides, they were a scene from an episode 3, and so I didn't know much about the show until I read the first 2 episodes when I tested for the show. Ooh, my voice is really going. Sorry about that, you guys.
You know what? Karolina, let me talk for Karolina some because she's having a hard.
Sorry.
No, because I want to tell the world how wonderful Karolina is. There's not a lot of actors who could go toe to toe with Ray. Ray is as great as Ray is. Karolina, we searched the world to cast the role that Karolina plays, Zosha's character, and when we met Karolina, and we saw a lot of really good actors, but Karolina is just so great, and she is such a great counterbalance to your character. And I just,
energy,
And I just we love you so much, and and you're such a trooper to be doing this with laryngitis, with bad laryngitis.
I know from screen testing with you, and then our early conversations, and then throughout the process, that I also want to tout like her incredible ability, because first of all, they're all trying to dial in who they are. How do the others actually act? Because there's this sense of contentment at all times, right? And the entire world's knowledge in your head, but you can't look evil. You can't just be grimacing. You can't look high as a kite or like you're tripping or something. You can't look like a robot. You can't look like an alien. You're still human. You're still listening. And I would tell Karolina sometimes when she's like, unfortunately, as all actors do, beating herself up, trying to like, how can I get this better? How can I get this better? I was like, what you were doing is so hard, because as humans, we reciprocate and mirror in conversation. If you take the conversation sad, I'm going to understand, oh, now we're talking about a sad thing. Or you're going to start yelling at me, and then I'm going to rise to that. She not only is not allowed to do that as a human, but as actors, that's our greatest tool, is listen and respond. And she's a sentient being. She's not a robot. So she's hearing me. She's concerned about Carol, hoping Carol is enlightened one day, but having to play all of this intelligence and not be reactive and still be present. Like, I just, hats off to what she did, and it was a joy to play against the whole time.
You. And that's a lot that's to you and then to Vince, the direction that Vince gave me and would challenge me to go further and further without being a caricature, but just being grounded and what it means to be content and happy and unflappable. It was such a fun thing to play.
And going off that too, I mean, for you, Ray, I mean, you also have to play off of the lack of emotion that you're receiving from Zosha. So I'm curious for your character, Carol. How does she feel about being one of these 13 souls that was not affected by everything else, like everybody else? Does she feel lucky in a way? Does she feel tortured in a way?
That's a really good question.
Thank you, because I didn't necessarily come up with it, but I was really proud of it.
Right. I feel like we could just stop the interview. Like, I just think people should think about that and write us. But,
we'll be right back after you've thought about it.
It's like the Will Shortz puzzle each week on NPR, and we'll just wait for people to write in with a response. Any Will Shortz fans out there?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I'm a nerd. You know what? I'm kind of embarrassed to say I hadn't given thought to. She's so in the moment of the problem solving then, and definitely the biggest thing I kept thinking is, thank God there are others like me, because I think her first state of panic, outside the grief of losing her wife and losing all of her friends and family all in one swoop, is that first sense of panic is, am I totally alone? And her asking Zosha, are there other people like me, and can I talk to them? And then there's the horrible and yet hilarious moment where we see that like none of them are going to help and none of them are interested at all in leading this charge. So I was very focused on that, and like you're right, like does she have survivor's guilt? And I thought of it more as another piece of the reluctant hero journey for her of like, I don't have a choice. I would absolutely rather that somebody else do something about this, but I'm the only person that has independent thought anymore, or who doesn't have their head up their bleep, which is what she thinks about everybody in Spain.
Well, everybody has their head up their bleep, or everybody has this thing, this psychic glue that is connecting everybody besides 13 people, a baker's dozen on Earth. How did you come up with that concept? What inspired you to sort of make that be the thing?
I was thinking about 10 years ago about a character, a guy at the time, a male guy.
A male guy.
Male
Really?
I was thinking about a person who everyone loved. Everyone loved this guy, and everyone would do anything in the world for him, no matter what he wanted, no matter how outrageous the ask. They would do anything. And it was kind of this wish fulfillment idea, but then I thought, that's not dramatic. That's how do you turn a guy who's basically in a great situation, how do you turn that into a drama? And then one thing led to another. I had the great idea of making it about Ray instead of about just some guy, and or having her play the role rather. But it's I always give the most unsatisfying answers to where'd you get the idea from, and I don't know where the hell they come from. You just try to stay attuned to them and kind of pick them out of the ether when they come. You have to be ready and receptive for them. But I don't know what inspired me. I just kind of remember when the idea started to percolate.
That's a great answer. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Right? I think people ask him that all the time though, because we all want to be a genius with ideas. Like we want to think that like you're like, well, this is what you Google this, and then you do this, and then you do that, and then like great ideas. Not like
we want
really?
the playbook, Vince.
Yeah, we don't really want to think like really. You just walk around and genius ideas pop into your head. We don't like that. No, we love it. We just wish we could.
Such a humble genius. I love the scene, sort of the impetus for everything, and really the buckle your seatbelt moment in episode 1, which is where we realize it's this cataclysmic event. We're at a bar, and we got to just get the hell away from here.
Yeah.
What was the most challenging part for y'all about filming that sequence? Because it is just incredibly paced. It is so frenetic. It's so emotional. There's a lot going on.
It was exhausting for you, wasn't it?
It was physically challenging, yeah. And as you may or may not notice, like those are mostly exteriors and they're night times. So those are all night shoots.
Chilly.
And it was freezing.
Yeah,
it was so freezing cold. Miriam Shore, here's a funny little anecdote I haven't told you. Miriam Shore, I run very hot, but I was freezing. Miriam Shore playing Helen fantastically, such an incredible actress. She runs really cold, so she's dying literally as well. But she's then laying on the ground and also laying on the sandwich board, so she was really cold. So she kept asking for more and more of the hand warmers they'll give actors to like stuff in your pockets. She had, I don't know if you know this, she had so many down her pants and in her back that in between scenes, even in the ER thing, when it's like horribly sad and I'm crying and trying to revive her, and like between takes she'd go to get up and she'd walk away, and she was just like pooping hand warmers. Just hand warmers were just flowing down the street behind her because they're all falling out of her. But
leaving a gingerbread trail.
Yes, exactly. We know where Miriam went.
Go find Miriam. Follow the hand warmers.
100%. Physically very challenging. Shout out to Heather Bonomo, my stunt double, who's just an incredible stunt person and also just artist and performer. Much of the lifting and the going through everything had to be me because the shot shows my face and we didn't do any CGI full face replacement. It was me. But Heather is so adept at not just the stunts, but watching my performance and understanding exactly what my body language was doing. And without that relief on occasion, because I gotta tell you, like, the sandwich board, very, very heavy because it needs to be steel reinforced so that there's no danger to the actress laying on it that it would ever break when I put her on it or when I lever it is that a verb?
Yeah,
into the truck. So it weighed a gazillion pounds by itself.
It was heavy. It was crazy.
Miriam
heavy.
was a petite wisp of a thing. That was fine. But if you ever try going into a full squat where your butt's almost completely on the ground and then lifting up 200 pounds.
Is that your new workout?
That's all I do now.
Yeah.
With your legs, not
everybody
with
that
your
does
back.
CrossFit right now is like, whatever, easy. But
if there was a gym you could go to where they set up an end of the world scenario,
Right.
and you just have to run around and save your friends and stuff like that, you get a good workout.
how much you guys want to bet there is some gym that's theme is like apocalyptic end of the world workout?
We were in New York just last week. They got a gym that's like get fit like convicts in jail. That was a literal thing. They should do like corpse lift.
Okay,
And you should be
great.
a spokeswoman. You know, like
Thank you,
get
yes.
fit by humping corpses. Not
This is the
humping.
practical usage. that
This
you're gonna-
is yeah.
If
yeah.
the end of the world happens, just be ready for it. Join your local gym. Karolina, in as little words as possible, because I don't want to strain you too much. How did you feel about who your character was before this psychic glue mind melding thing had happened to that person? How did you understand that character, and how did you relate that to who you had become?
You know, it's interesting because I actually didn't think much about who she was prior, but who she is today, and I focus on that because my job was to be I am in this new world, and who is she today, and moving forward, how she is. So I haven't thought much about her past, to be honest.
When you look at a show like this and you have all these different kind of concepts, it's so mysterious, right? And we're kind of learning new things every episode. I thought one of the real stunning scenes was when you get on Air Force One, which is just a fun thing to say, in episode 2, and you're so excited to meet these other humans, and you're like, oh, finally somebody's on my team. Nobody's on your team.
Nobody's on my team. Damn it.
What's that moment like as an
So
actor?
fun. So fun. It's so frustrating, and that's why it's so fun. I don't know. I don't know if it's coming from theater where you're doing the same play over and over every night, but like for some reason it isn't very difficult. It's so much fun for me to tell myself that that my character doesn't know what I know, and then go on that. So just the march in there of like, finally, I'm gonna get some help, makes me laugh as Ray. And what I met with, well, even from the second, Samba Shoots is so brilliant. From the second Diabate opens, actually, it's even before that. When I'm told that he flew a different plane and is making and would like everybody to come out and meet them. You see Carol's face at me. He's like, that's not going to be good. Anybody that wanted to make this all about themselves, and it's already not going well, as we see when she's trying to talk to everybody. Right. And then you framed it once I go up the stairs and he sees Zosha, the gorgeous Karolina, and I'm standing between them in this awesome costume that Jennifer Bryan came up with, because we were like, she's trying to pull her together, but like halfway through kind of was like, just put the dirty sweater on, and like it's like, I'll wear a skirt, but then it's like Diabate only wants to talk to Zosha, and I'm just standing there, I'm like, ugh. So just every setup is leading us into this remarkable situation where, and then I think we filmed it as soon as she shuts the door. She's like, anybody science experience? Anybody like, do you like Legos? Anybody like, is there anything that you can do to aid us? And nobody does. And Vince reminded me all the time that like when she flies out there, she's hoping that she literally will just have to volunteer to do cups and plates at the Revolution Party, not run it. Like, what? Are you insane? And being stuck in that position is one of those great moments that he peppered throughout the show, where in this strange world, your access point to be like, what would I do or how would I feel, is how incredibly human Carol's being about it. Because I do think most of us have been in a situation where you're screaming that the barn is on fire and everyone else is like, just sit down, like have a drink, it's brunch, like what's the problem? And you're like, I said the barn is on fire! And that's Carol through the whole scene, which was just a lot of fun.
It's one of the brilliant things about that show, because as a viewer watching it, I'm with you the whole time, and I'm like, well, yeah, this is crazy. How come nobody's helping? And then you get on the plane, and you see everybody else's perspective, and you say, maybe this ain't the worst thing. Maybe and my team had just lost on Monday Night Football, and I'm like, maybe it's just good to not feel anything.
They all have...
Maybe you just turn everything off.
And they have great points of view in that argument. And then there's a secret there, too, that I asked Vince about. I said, Carol could have laid down the card of like, Yes, I know the pain you're experiencing, Lakshmi. My wife was killed by this whole thing. She could have, when they say like, "This is all great," I could have laid that out. It could have been an excuse for my behavior, and she never once does. And do you remember you said to me? You said,
No.
I think it is so sacred to her that she refuses to play that card for pity. And so she never ever once mentions that she has gone through that as well.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to ask this question, wrapping things up here. Karolina, I'm going to start with you. This happens on Earth, on our world, okay? But we're all one of the 13 who are not affected by the DNA swap, okay? So what are you going to do? You can do anything on Earth. You can go anywhere, like the Guggenheim. You can have anything brought to you. What is the one thing that you got to do before you worry about the rest of Earth?
I actually do have a thing. My dream is to go to Antarctica.
Oh,
I would go on a crazy expedition to Antarctica.
you can do that now.
Yes.
We need to send you to Antarctica.
Yeah,
Yeah, but not while you have laryngitis.
but with some penguins.
What would you do?
Yeah, what's the game plan here, guys?
You know what I would do aside from all the well, never mind. But I would. They could get an SR-71 flying again, the greatest airplane that ever existed. Cruised at Mach 3 at like 90,000, 100,000, way up there. And it doesn't fly anymore. It hadn't flown since 1992. But they could, the others could get one going, within a week or two, and then take me for a ride in it, in the reconnaissance version, the 2-seat version. That would be friggin' awesome.
All right, pressure's on. We got a trip to Antarctica.
Yeah.
We got reviving a plane.
Okay. I think I got the question wrong because I was reversing it.
You can have it brought
like,
to you as well.
No. I guess I was thinking if you're one of the 13 and the clock is ticking, what would you do? In my head, I was thinking I would do if I knew I wasn't going to have an individual mind soon. I would want to read as many books and paint anything that is an element of surprise that I'm never going to have again. I would want to be doing as many of those things before I don't get to do them anymore.
Karolina, you win. I'm not reading a book before the end of the world. But these have all been great answers. This has been a fantastic time getting to hang with all of you. Karolina, you're a trooper. Ray, Vince, thank you all so much. Pluribus is now on Apple TV, so go check it out. Thanks for tuning into the Watch List. I'm Mark Ellis. We'll see you next time.